Today, on More Organised, Less Clutter, I'm talking with Claudia from Wolf Therapy. She's accredited mental health worker, trauma therapist, and trainer for therapists. She uses neurodivergent affirming, EMDR, and parts work therapy in supporting her clients. Claudia is going to be sharing the hidden emotional blocks behind lack of motivation and disorganization and a practical therapy technique to use to feel motivated immediately. Welcome, Claudia.
Hi, thanks, Narelle. It's good to be here.
No, it's so great that you can make the time to come in here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you actually use the therapy as well.
Yeah.
So share with us then, so people can get to know you a little bit. If you were a Barbie doll, what two accessories would you come with?
Wow. Look, so being neurodivergent, I probably would have the same accessories in different color. So I like to repeat the wardrobe. I like to have, find something I like, and I like the fabric, I like the fit. So yes, I think whatever it is, it'll probably be probably my compression leggings. That's really boring, but it's an essential part of having pots and those sorts of things. And just some grey wash t-shirts and a jacket with, different neutral earthy shades, but in the same style.
Yeah. And what about the little, like if you came with accessories
The little bits.
that are your hobbies?
I don't know, yoga
Yeah,
mat Barbie.
definitely.
And just not a hobby person. Although no, I'm trying to be creative. So I've started watercoloring. So let's just say some watercolor paints or something, because I'm not into like clothes and bags, bags and shoes and things. So.
Also, I could imagine you also coming with even a computer because you love researching and you love learning new things as well, don't you?
When someone says hobby, I'm like, job is my trauma work is my special interest. So yes,
exactly.
And my EMDR tools. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. You would have those with you as well.
Yeah.
So if I could work with you as a professional organizer for a whole day, what area would you like support?
Oh gosh, well, you know the answer to that. Probably, probably my meal prep and planning is the area that lets me down the most with my neurodivergent brain. But I just love general organization, so we'd probably just get through as much of the house as possible. But definitely the meal prep planning, kitchen stuff.
Yeah. What about your work stuff? Like, do you feel that you're really organized with that? Like, as in, the back end of your things, admin stuff. Yeah.
It's not optimized, but it's not shoddy. I get through stuff. There's definitely room for improvement for sure.
Yeah. But you're not scrambling going, oh my gosh, where is everything? So
other than this morning when I went to log in and all of a sudden it took me to a map and I thought, oh my gosh, this is actually meant to be in person. And I panicked. That was a scramble. But other than that, I'm found my own rhythm working for myself.
Yeah. And that makes a difference, doesn't it? Working for yourself and knowing what you can do. So what are some of those strengths that you bring to your business that are also unique?
To my business or to my work as such, but as a therapist, I'm not really sort of into the clinical vibe, and some people really want that structure and clinical vibe in their therapy. But for me, I'm much more human, much more kind of open. I've got a lot of lived experience. I'm neurodivergent. I've sort of lived with chronic pain and chronic conditions. I'm a mother, so I think it's that sort of understanding. I attract the kinds of clients I attract are generally neurodivergent or mothers or people that are a bit sort of more spiritual leaning, and so people I can kind of connect with in that way. I think it's that just humanness, that connection, rather than trying to be this kind of professional expert.
Yeah, and your beautiful space that you have created in your studio that people who come for in-person sessions, I think also is really beautiful and inviting and sort of that relaxed feeling.
Yes, I absolutely love where I work. It was meant to be just a bit of a retreat, but I took it over as my workspace, and it's just beautiful. And I work with people for 3 or 6 days. Which probably sounds a bit strange, but yeah, it's just, I love them to come in, I feed them, I nurture them as best I can, I put a blanket on them and we do the work, and I just want it to feel really special.
Yeah, yeah, which is great. And just that is another part of, I think, your whole unique part of your business is creating that environment for them to feel safe and trust you as well.
Yeah, definitely. And especially since I only work intensively, I only do really, really short term work with clients, but we go really, really deep. I think that's really important to have that trust and that safety.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, why do people, especially neurodivergent people, become really overwhelmed and experience blocks or motivation when it comes to organization? And especially like admin is another big part that I find with clients as well, and trying to get started on those tasks.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's multifaceted. Obviously, there's lots of different layers to this. But, I think when people lack motivation, or this sense of I can't get motivated, or I'm really really struggling to, I guess it's that sort of inertia, like trying to get through kind of a block of getting started, particularly with the neurodivergent nervous system. I think for a long time we're told we're lazy, we lack discipline, maybe we don't care enough, maybe just try harder, and so that internalizes as a lot of shame. It internalizes particularly late diagnosed folk as well that never really kind of understood why maybe things were different for them. So, internalizing that shame, sometimes these tasks can become almost like a threat to our nervous system. And that can sound dramatic, but, just a simple task that is maybe supposed to be easy for most people, for a neurodivergent brain. And it is not just neurodivergent people, other people experience this, of course. But this task that can supposedly be simple might be more complicated for a neurodivergent brain. And so that becomes really threatening, but also just this kind of this overwhelm, the sensory overwhelm of getting your hands wet to wash the dishes, or, there's a lot of layers to it. But often it's just being told you're disorganized, you're not going about things the right way, you're too sensitive, you're too messy or cluttered, or often perfectionism can come in with a neurodivergent brain, that kind of I don't like the word rigidity from a negative connotation, but we can be quite stuck or
Mm.
set in our ways. And if we can't do it perfectly, we don't want to do it at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah.
got
So
a
this is,
client at the moment you just thought of, and like her family will tell her, you need to have your bench clear, free of clutter. But actually, we've set it up now. So it's not going to be free, but it's set up so she's got a place to put things. So, like a little home of some kind, but it still looks for her. That's how she wants it to look still. So she knows, so she can see the items rather than everything's hidden away and then she'll have no
yes.
idea where things are. So it's
Yeah,
working with her brain rather than against it.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's that
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
sight, out of mind, isn't it? For a lot of neurodivergent people, particularly ADHDers, if they can't see something, they forget it exists and they won't do it.
yeah.
Or, for me, I get overwhelmed by clutter. I like a lot of clear spaces, but I also have that issue with, if I can't see it, I might forget to do it. So it's always that balance for me. But,
Yeah.
other people, I've worked in offices, I've shared offices with people where there is not a clear space, everything is everywhere. But they need that. That's how they work. And if someone were to go in and tidy up for them, they would be so lost. So it just goes to show how we've got to work with our brain. We've got to work with our wiring, and what works for us won't work for the next person. And often there's this sense from kind of a neurotypical perspective that we have to do things the right way. But if that doesn't sort of build that momentum for us, if we don't have that proper scaffolding that our brains need, that can lead to the sensory overwhelm, being stuck in transitions, shutting down. The perfectionism is a big one for me. I go into like a freeze mode. And fatigue. There's decision fatigue. There's physical
Mm.
fatigue. We know neurodivergent people often, experience other co-occurring things like dysautonomia, or MCAS, or chronic fatigue, inflammatory conditions, physical limitations. There's a lot of things that go along with neurodivergence that we're learning more and more about.
Yeah, yeah. But it's that internalization because when I first met this client, she was like, "Oh, my family tell me I'm just so messy. I'm just disorganized. I'm such a clutterbug." And I was like, "No, no, no. We just need to make it work for your brain. But I don't think you need to move anything. We just need to maybe put it into little categories." But
Yeah.
no. And so it's funny to see her. She's internalized this from family members when they come to visit her in her own home. which is really sad to
Definitely.
see.
Yeah. And that ties
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
that shame.
yeah,
It ties back to that there's something wrong with me, or
yeah.
I'm different, and other people's perspectives can really weigh in on that. But, even just the doom pile, I don't know if your clients have that, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
didn't organize, only moved. And I have a few doom piles.
Yeah,
I tidy mine away, but I've definitely got some baskets of drawers. It's like, that's the doom pile, and everything else can stay kind of, you know, relatively clear from the outside. But, we all need that doom room or doom basket or doom pile for sure.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that we delayed. We're going to make it those decisions, but it's just not today. We don't have the spoons to be able to do it.
Definitely. And I also, as a therapist, work with parts work. So, in my
Yeah, what's
trauma
parts
work,
work? Tell us a little bit about
yeah. So
parts work.
in my trauma work, that's where I'll work with those things of like that internalized shame or perfectionism or those sorts of things. And so often there is this strong psychological component of being neurodivergent, not quite ever fitting in or quite matching the expectations. But as a parts work therapist, this is also a lens of looking at we're not just this person from the outside. We're made up of all different parts of personality, and essentially a part is just a brain network. It's just a connection, a neural network, a connection in our brain based on past experience. But the way we conceptualize it is, we might have the motivated part, we might have the organized part, we might have the loving part, we might have a nurturing part, we might have an angry part. And so, when we respond to our environment or the people around us, we're operating from just one part of us that's based on our past experience. So if you were in school and you were told all the time you were lazy, you were unmotivated, you were not going to get anywhere, my big one was very smart but needs to apply herself, because I never studied. I just got the grades and I just never learned how to sit down and study because that was so boring. So, if you've been told, you sort of develop this part that internalizes this message. And so when you're then under threat, because you associate that with getting in trouble, then when you're under threat or you feel like, oh, my mum's coming over, I've got to tidy up, that part recognizes that sense of being in trouble. And then it will be the part that comes kind of conscious, I suppose, or that's sort of active at the time. And so when we experience threat, we might shut down, we might run away, we might avoid, we might procrastinate, we might get mad, based on those different parts of us. Just like if we have a really engaged, hyperfixated part, that's the part that's operating with the world. But if that part's not in the driver's seat at any given time, it's hard to access those things. So yeah, this talk is a little bit, it's hard sometimes for people to get their head around, although I'm surprised how many people go, yeah, that makes sense. That's why one day I can be like this, one day I'm like this. It's different parts of us in the driver's seat. And neurodivergent people tend to feel quite multifaceted. There's me in this environment, and me with this person, and me with that person, but where's my sense of just oneself?
Yeah, I really like that parts, especially I hear that from clients when they talk about different people coming to their house and how they feel. So they actually
Oh,
talk about it in parts without even knowing that they have these separate parts. And I mean, I didn't understand that either until you've just cleared it up, which makes so much sense. Yeah. So then how do you work with those different parts? What are some of the techniques that you use?
yeah. So I would love to demo one on you if you're
Yeah,
willing. But
yeah,
just to
sure.
summarize, sort of the different ways of different parts
Yeah.
is, often we do have a bit of a trauma history or some adversity. So, if people are feeling they're really struggling with a lot of shame, for example, I definitely always recommend seeing a therapist do some of that trauma work, particularly someone who's neuroaffirming and really understands neurodivergent brains. Absolutely. And again, this goes for neurotypical people as well. But, you need someone who's sort of tuned in to what your needs are. So yeah, some of those messages can truly show up as a threat response and truly get in the way of maybe our values or what we want to be doing in life. But also I find mostly these parts need a lot of compassion. So, for me, I go through seasons, my chronic pain might flare up. I might just, spend too much time scrolling or, struggling to get in and do the organized things I need to do. And I'll keep comparing myself to, oh my gosh, last month I organized the whole house. I was over everything. I was doing my social media for my business. I was doing that. It's easy to go, oh, why can't I be like that? What's wrong with me? I'm, etc. So often it's just giving ourselves a little bit of compassion and soothing when these parts are in the driver's seat that don't have as much things aren't as accessible to us. We're not able to access those other parts. It's just having that self compassion, and it's often I've got a little meditation on my YouTube to cringe, but I've got a little meditation on my YouTube, and I've got a few little resources on my website as well about how we can kind of notice how we're feeling in the moment and just sort of go to ourselves, what part of me is this? Oh, this is a part that feels really young. This is a part of me that feels like I get in trouble all the time, or I'm judged. Just putting your hand on your heart, or something like that, just sort of visualizing, supporting that little part and going, it's okay, you need rest. It's okay to, not show up in the way today that you wish you were showing up in. So there's some little mini things that people can do as well. And then, of course, working with someone like yourself can be useful, things like scaffolding. This is more in a practical sense, but for me, if I'm really struggling with motivation, I'll boil the kettle, make a cup of tea, and in that 3 minutes, I have to work flat out, like unpack the dishwasher or do something like that. And you can do a lot when there's that demand is taken away. It's only 3 minutes. Or I might know that I need to vacuum, so I put the vacuum cleaner out. So when that mood comes, I don't have to like pull it out and plug it in and work out where it's going to go, etc. And then I'll put on 3 songs and go, I just have to do this for 3 songs. And then usually I just keep going, because once I'm started, it's a lot easier. So yeah, that was more of a practical sense rather than a therapeutic sense. But I do work with people to build in these little, kind of similar to what you do. You do it in the home and in a practical sense. I tend to do it just from, obviously running through the person's life and identifying these areas.
Yeah. And I do the same as you. Like if I want to cook something, I put the ingredients on the bench the night before, so I'll be motivated. If I wanted to clean something in the bathroom, I'll put the spray there, and in the morning, then I'll do it. Same. Like I use that technique all the time, but interesting to use then that parts and that self-compassion to, recognize those parts, that are appearing, which is so beautiful. So what are some of the things that people are listening can explore that might help them with this then?
Yeah, so I guess just those little, little exercises, little practices, little rituals that can either, build that compassion. But sometimes for me, I'm at a point where sometimes I just need to activate or get a part in the driver's seat that can kind of be what I need to be in that moment. So that's what I'll show you, Narelle. But, so I'll activate a part of me that sometimes I'm like, I see the procrastinating part is here, and I value and I validate it, and I understand where it's coming from, but also like I'm a parent, I've got to get shit done. So I will do this work. Or another one for me is getting to the gym. Sometimes I really need to activate this part of myself that is more appropriate, like right time, right place. And often people are surprised how they can actually do this. So if you're game to be my guinea pig, I can show people how I do this for myself, but how a little bit of a taste of also what is part of my parts work therapy. So Narelle, I'll get you to just think of your life at the moment, and just think of a state or a part of yourself that you would like to see today. So maybe you're feeling a bit tired and you want to find a more energized state, or maybe you're feeling nervous and you want a calmer state, or maybe you're not present enough. Just have a little think about how you'd like to show up today. How would you like to feel today?
So just definitely more energized, because I've had a busy morning and I still have to drive to Colac, and that can be tiring because it's, even though it's only an hour, it's just straight and it's quite a boring drive. So that can be tiring for me. I do find that tiring.
And do you find you get caught up in the stories as well as like, I don't want to do this, I can't do, like you get a little bit in your way yourself?
It's a little bit probably about, the weather. Like I'll be like, oh, it's probably going to be windy and it's going to be this on the way there. And because I know I'm coming home when it's dark. And whenever I come home from when it's dark that way, it's really dark on the road, and and generally it seems to rain when I'm on my way back from the air as well. So that can be a bit of
it can pile on. We can kind of think 2 steps ahead too, can't we? The whole time. So you would rather feel about your day, you'd rather feel energized. Would you rather feel quite present, like not letting those thoughts kind of skip ahead? Or How else
Yeah,
would you
yeah.
like to feel
Because
today?
I actually like going to Colac. I actually like the feel of the town. The
Yeah.
town is beautiful and it's really quiet and it's just got a nice feel about it. But it's just the drive. I don't know what it is about the drive. It's just the driving
Yes.
part of it. And
Yeah. So
maybe just because I've had a few incidents on the way over the last few years doing it in bad
yes.
weather. So yeah, I think that's maybe
Okay.
what's underlying it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you'd rather feel energized, present. You'd rather be focused on what you like about the town or what you like about being there, and
Mm.
you'd rather maybe feel more excited or more, interested in the journey, or where you're going and what you're doing. So if you were
Yeah, yeah,
feeling
yeah, definitely.
if you were feeling energized, if you were feeling present, if you're feeling kind of more excited about being in this place, how would you act? Would you be just sort of like pop a music or podcast on and just like,
Probably put it,
or
yeah.
yeah,
Definitely put a podcast on that sort of lifts my mood and something that I maybe wanted to learn about, or I heard the episode and I was like, yeah, because I do like learning in the morning when I'm going somewhere, whereas on the way home, I need to just listen to something that's really easy. So something that I'll be
yeah,
really interested with, that maybe I especially like to find something that the client I'm going to, that usually we've got something then to chat about because she loves
yeah,
learning as well. So yeah, if
great.
I have something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, that seems to help.
Okay. All right. So I'll invite you, if you feel comfortable, to close down your eyes, or maybe you just find a soft gaze. And I want you to just share with me a time, just one specific moment in time. It doesn't have to be related to this scenario. It might be a work example, might be a personal example, where you felt energized, you felt kind of excited about what was ahead, you felt quite present, you were able to just focus on putting on something nice for yourself or doing something good for yourself to support you. It might be a drive journey, it might be something else. So you're able to think of a time when you were able
Yeah.
to feel this way. Can you describe it to me, like it's happening right now? So I'm in the car or I'm standing on my porch and I'm looking out and the sun sets, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's in the kitchen and it's a sunny day outside and I'm cooking something. It's the weekend, so there's not much going on. And I've got a podcast or an audio book on while I'm also cooking, and just I'm by myself. There's no one else really around in the house. And yeah, I'm feeling really motivated as I prepare not just one, but maybe like three things at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so it's multitasking. So, if you're I'm making a soup, but then I'm also making a meal because it's usually similar ingredients. So just feeling really, I don't know, just really proud and going, yes, I've done this. And it's about
Yeah.
like using up ingredients in the fridge. So before they're going to go off. And
Yes.
so, yeah, I
Yes.
suppose it's bringing
Awesome.
in some of those values, the sustainability and that.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I want you to just be there. Can you hear me? All right. It's glitching a little bit. Okay. All right. We're back. Okay.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. All right. Beautiful. So I just want you to just get back into that space. You're in the kitchen. It's a sunny day. You're cooking. The weekend, you're alone, not much on, nothing to do, nowhere to be, and you've got just a podcast on of your choice. And you're feeling, if you're preparing these meals, you're motivated, you're multitasking, you're quite proud of sort of what you've sort of planned and pulled out of nowhere in the fridge, and how you're sort of all on top of things. And as you're here in this sunny day and you're cooking and you're motivated, what are you feeling in this moment? Are you feeling like, you said some pride? Is there some warmth in the body, or is there a contentment? Tell me what you're feeling or
Mm.
experiencing.
It's probably just, yeah, just sort of a relaxed, but also excited feeling, knowing that you've produced something that other people in the family can sort of enjoy later.
Yeah, yeah. So relax, you're excited. Is there sensations that go along with this?
Um, Probably the smell of the cooking. Um,
Yes.
yeah, just definitely the smell. I'm not really good at tasting as I go. But yeah, I will enjoy the smell of it. And I don't
Yes.
mind like the touch of preparing, and I will use my Thermomix so I don't have to cut everything up.
Yes.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're motivated, you're proud, you're relaxed, you're excited. Yeah, you've got this sort of, is there any other emotions or feelings that go along with this being in the kitchen, the sunny day, being relaxed?
No, I think that just a
Yeah,
happy feeling. Yeah. Yeah.
happy. Yeah. So this, what can I call this part of you? This relaxed, excited, proud, happy sort of part of you. What's a word, or what can I call this part?
Can it be just like happy, your happy
Yeah,
spot or your happy place? Is that, or does it need to
absolutely.
be, yeah,
No,
that
happy,
actual
happy
happy spot,
spot or
happy?
happy. Yep, that's
Yeah.
perfect. All right, happy. Thank you. And what a beautiful part of Narelle you are. What a wonderful part that's already there, and she doesn't even need to, try because you're already part of Narelle. Are you willing to help us, Happy? Are you willing to help Narelle with something today? Yeah, I've got a nod there. All right,
Yeah.
so Narelle, I'll say this happy part. Just want you to notice this relaxed, this excited, this sort of motivated, this proud part of you. And from this proud part, I want proud to, oh sorry, happy. I want you to describe to me this drive today. I want you to hop in the driver's seat, literally, of the car. And I want you to talk me through, like, I'm going to hop in the car. I'm thinking about, feeling relaxed and excited. I'm going to put on the podcast, like you're writing your own movie, I guess. Can you describe to me what this day is like? How you're going to support this day, Happy?
Yeah. So then, and then driving down and just witnessing the beautiful, like not gardens, paddocks, because they'll be really green because we've had a lot of rain lately, and there's lots of animals as well around. And then just looking forward to going through the couple of little towns that you go through before you get there. And just thinking about some of the, well, depends on how engaging the podcast is, either thinking about things that relate to the podcast or otherwise just thinking about things that that I have done over the past sort of weekend, because I had a really nice weekend and quite relaxing. So focusing on
Yeah.
some positive things as well.
Yeah, beautiful. So as you're driving down the road, you're looking over this beautiful paddocks, you're seeing the green, you're noticing these animals, you're sort of anticipating what it's going to be like to drive through these little towns, and just being there, driving, thinking about the podcast, or reflecting back to how relaxing, the weekend was, and sort of feeling positive. How does that feel for you right now as you're looking at the
Yeah,
paddocks and
good.
you're feeling positive? Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Is there anything else you're feeling, or emotions, or feelings in the body?
Yeah, maybe just calm as well.
Mm, yeah. So you're feeling good, you're feeling calm. All right. So thank you, Happy.
Yeah.
Happy, are you willing to kind of be in the driver's seat literally today, and figuratively, to help Narelle during this drive feel kind of good and calm and positive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you. All right, Narelle. how are you feeling about your day now?
Yes, I'm looking forward to the drive now. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what was that little exercise like for you?
No, it was good. It was really good. Yeah, I can see that being really beneficial for people in now, like just reflecting on it, when it's quite stressful for them to say, organize something or, declutter, or even just the thought of it, especially someone who's who doesn't know what to expect, or maybe has had a bad experience with
Mm,
decluttering, with maybe a family member who's just told them they have to get rid of everything. And then we come in and go, oh no, you make the decisions. I'm not deciding anything. It's, up to you. And just giving them a different approach, that sometimes that still takes a while because they're not used to that, because they've obviously then have this part associated with their decluttering experiences in the past.
yeah, and so what we need is a part that's more able to handle that or manage that, or the right part in
Yeah.
the right place at the right time. So you can see, and the beautiful thing is it doesn't rely on imagination, which a lot of
Mm.
many neurodivergent people can't visualize. But when we're talking about a memory, we can tap into and remember
Yeah.
exactly how it felt because we actually already did it. So it might be that they need a strong part that's like going to speak up for themselves, or it might be that they need a motivated part or an engaged part, or maybe they need to reflect on how good it felt to get through a challenge in the past. Like for me, I'll activate a part walking that from the past has walked out of my boxing class. When I'm like, I don't want to go, it's cold, I can't be bothered. So I'll like really tap into that part. I'll be like, yes, I feel those endorphins and activate that part. So yeah, that's just a little something that people can play with, of finding what, ask yourself, how do I want to feel in this moment? How would I like to act?
Yep.
And finding some sort of experience or memory from the past where you've been able to connect with that even a little bit. In any context, doesn't have to be the same context. It could be a work context for a personal problem. Like if we're at work, we might not have a choice. We have to get into those parts to get work done. It might be that you tap into that part.
Yeah, that's really, really useful. And I liked the fact that you said, like, think of a past experience, because if you had said, imagine a nice place, and that's when I would have gone, no, I can't think of that. But because it was a past thing, it definitely helped. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for putting yourself up for that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you for doing it. So if people wanted to connect with you, what is the best way for them to connect with you, Claudia?
So my website is probably the best place. So it's wolftherapeutic.com.au. I've got an Instagram as well. I'm not particularly good at it, but there's the Wolf Therapeutic Community, which is my business. And yeah, as I said, on my website, I've got lots of free resources. So if someone's interested in having some little techniques to have up their sleeve, I've got a few little compassionate exercises, some meditation type stuff. I've got a little mini guide on burnout, which is really relevant to it's neurodivergent burnout. That's more for therapists, but it can still be a really good read. But yes, so my website's got how to work with me, because I work in a very specific way, but it's also got heaps of freebies if that isn't something that people feel like is for them, is that intensive model.
Oh, yeah. No, I really like that you've got that meditation, because that's something that I definitely used myself, was those self-compassion meditations years ago. They're really, really useful for tapping into yourself and just giving yourself some love, isn't it?
Yeah, and the meditation on there is very similar to what I just did with you. So if someone's struggling to do it for themselves, it kind of guides them through a similar process.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Claudia, and also for sharing that. I really appreciate. I think that's great for people to see how it works as well.
Yeah. Well, you tap into that happy part when you get in the car later.
I will.
And see how you go.
I will.
You can report
Thank
back.
you so much. I will. I'll let you know. Thank you so much.
No worries. I loved it. Thank you.